Alright guys, welcome to the Three Captains, and today I will be showing you my deck list for Yamato. So as you can see, I went to my locals today at Cool Stuff in Maitland, and we got 5th place. Not that great, and I'll explain what happened as I'm doing the deck breakdown, but it was only a top 4 cut because it was only about 14 people, but of the 14 we were the 5th best. So here we go. So my deck list pretty much consists of not 12 but 16 2K counters, 4 Strucin, 4 2K Charlotte Puddings, and 4 Sanji, and 4 Yamato. So honestly, all of these cards are used for is 2K counters besides Strucin. Strucin is a good into law, which I actually faced today. It gets rid of those pesky 1-cost blockers. And then Pudding also has a secondary effect where you can look at life, since this deck doesn't revolve around Katakuri's effect. Sometimes if you really need to know what's there to seal your victory, it comes in a pinch, but it's more so a 2K counter. Again, Yamato is also a 2-position card. Is basically you can use it, and you can add a life card to your hand practically, and it stays at 5K during your opponent's turn when you do it. Good for adding cards to your hand when you really need them, and life is taking a while to go back down, so you can get into your main guy's effect. But that's enough for the 2Ks. And now on to the characters of the deck. So of course we got our searcher, one and only Charlotte Pudding, and also, which is also one of our searchers, Charlotte Sparrow, the only blocker in the deck, Brulee, and our 4-cost characters, Cracker, 2 Rush Katakuris, 2 Smoothies, 4 Yamatos 5/7s, and 3 Charlie Linden Big Moms, and 2 8-cost Katakuris. So for this, the way I see it for this deck in itself is you need the searches. Your favorite thing is obviously seeing this on turn 1. Then if you don't have this in hand already, seeing this from your searcher. This card is a really good card to play. It allows us to have bodies on board that people have to deal with on turn. And if it's on curve, sometimes it takes a while to really get off. So that's really good. We all know these you want to see in life, but if you got to play one, you will. These you definitely want to see in life, especially off of a turn where you take a life, because that's mostly what you're doing in Yamato. You take until you have 2 life left, and then you benefit off of her ability, which makes her 6K on your opponent's turn, basically being a mini Whitebeard. That's the best part. But Cracker is so good off of first hit. Like, it was the first card in your life, and you have that the turn that you come back. Easy 7K swing for 2 life, and your opponent has to either give up the blocker they just played or 2 cards. I'll take either or. Smoothie, nice little card to get off life, and most of the time is a 1K counter for me. If I don't see her on curve, I would really play this or this over her. If I'm going second, I'm definitely playing one of these no matter what. If I'm going first, and this is my turn 2 option only. Besides this, which normally you don't have to. And Rush Katakuri, a lot of people don't like this card, but I really do. Obviously his rush is very optional, but it becomes more prevalent in Yamato deck when you're going up against other decks beside yellow and Whitebeard, that you're gonna get to lower life than they do, and sometimes late game you have no life to play into at ease is beautiful. It's almost as effective as 1 8-cost Katakuri, so it's really good. Obviously these need no introduction. This is the biggest part of the deck. I really want to run 4 and only 1 of this, but there are cases where you need to remove things off board and have the opponent have dead cards in the hand where they take that life. And this is just so great on curve. Like playing this on your 8 Dawn, 7 Dawn curve, just making your opponent make that decision is so nerve-wracking, especially against black, which I played today. But that's pretty much it for the characters. Let's see. Let's get these all up out the way. Now for the events. The events is literally 2. I play 4. I don't know how to pronounce that. I call it Bura Arrow. And 2 Thunderbolt. So you can't escape this card for right now. I even tried teching in the Buzz Cut, but it wasn't as consistent as Thunderbolt, and it's pretty much the same effect off of life, but Buzz Cut isn't. And this is just GOAT. Like, until we get the 1-cost Rad Beam that comes in set 5, this is probably the best. The best counter. The best counter event where we have, besides obviously the 2-cost 5,000 and Ikaku Sovereignty. But that is the deck list for my Yamato. For the past 4 weeks, I've went 4, 2, 2, and now 5 at my locals. With this same deck, I'm playing it until set 4 drops, and then I'm gonna go back to my favorite Katakuri. As far as how we did in the local, so our first matchup was a mirror, which is actually great. So pretty much the game started out really good. We're in a good place, and pretty much it came down to if I can land all 3 hits to get rid of him. He had 2 life left, 1 blocker. I had Thunderbolt in hand, 10 Dawn. I played Thunderbolt. He had 2 Dawn up. I thought he was bluffing, but he did have the Ikaku Sovereignty. As you can see, I don't play one, so that was kind of a mishap on my side. I swung 8, and he Ikaku Sovereignty me, still had the blocker up. And then I just had to keep swinging. But at the end, I had 1 blocker up. I had 1 blocker up, 2 life, and 2 cards in hand. And he just had a monster board that I didn't tend to care because I thought I could end the game. So that was my loss. Now for the 2 wins that we had. So our next matchup, which is a very bad matchup for us, is Law. So we ran into the Law today, and we had a really fun time against Law. Actually, it was really good. Basically what it came down to was his first 2 searches were whiffs. He whiffed on Curly the Dan, and he whiffed on Nami. Perfect. But in his favor, those are the most important ones. It took him a while to get his 5 characters on board to start utilizing his effect. But when he actually had the chance to utilize his effect, I wound up being able to clear board not once, but twice. The first time he played everything, did what he had to do, he just whiffed on those cards, and then his Bonnies were just going off. He told me that there was actually almost a 3rd whiff, but he got 1 card out of it. But the luck was pretty much in our favor on that match, and we was able to take him out with 3 life remaining. So that's that. Our match after that was a smoker. Now the guy he said he was relatively new, but he did not misplay. He just had a really bad hand. And so the first match is really a toss-up. His hand was just really ridiculous. Dude saw no counters, and when he used brand new, he pretty much trashed 2 impacts and a Borsellino and 2 Borsellino. So it was just like, ugh. He just had some really bad luck. But we wound up playing again while we were waiting for for our results, and that was a much closer match. He went for the kill, and I had just enough counter to stop it. So the next turn I was able to win out. So the main purpose of this deck is literally just to stack your hand as much as possible. Against black, that is a little scary with Isho running around, which is what I ran into last week when I topped 2. I ran into Lucci, and he put the Isho in hand deliberately to show it to me, basically to mess with me and make me think that I had to get rid of cards before he played, because he was going to play it if I didn't let go of cards. So it was like, do I want this body on board, or can I suffer about 2 cards? And the worst part of that match was just I didn't see any of my top end, which is like the worst thing the captain's like, which is why you have to play as many as you do. The 5/7s, obviously the 7/8 and the 8/8. Yeah, Katakuri and Big Mom, so you need those. Besides that, again, this deck is literally all about stacking your hand. As your turns go on, you're just playing. You're taking life until you get to 2, and when you get to 2, or you're expecting to hit 2, put a Dawn under her. She's now 6K. They have to now use a additional Mav just to get over her, which is beautiful. So she's not just a regular 5K swing anymore. They now have to attach a Dawn to those little people, which worked in my favor against the black deck, because he was really spamming his little people because he didn't see no top in either that match, the second match at least. But I really like this deck. It's more strategic than it is yellow for now, until yellow gets the consistency back. This also benefits, but I think Cat is just much better in set 4 with all the consistency issues we get Capone, they get Capone, obviously. In this deck, all you're gonna do is take out the 2K puddings for the Capone, and also these 2Ks for the Big Mom Pirate. That way you have more searchable 2Ks, which is another good thing. Yeah, but like I said, I love this deck right now more than Cat. It's just so much more persistent. You don't get the benefit of throwing down Big Mom, but I like that because not only sometimes the whole turn, but being able to make sure that you could defend yourself, be at 6K on your opponent's turn. It's like, yeah, I can swing for 7K on my turn, but being at 6K is so much more valuable on your opponent's turn. Even like definitely late game, where you have 8 2K counters in your hand, and you just saying go with 2 life is just so beautiful. I will be posting the match that I lost. Wasn't able to get the rest of my matches in. Phone died. But I did really enjoy today's locals competition. Everyone was just trying to figure out what they were gonna do. So it was a lot of proxying going on, not in the tournament, but on the side. People was trying to figure out the matchup or get Rebecca against Whitebeard. You know, was testing out to see how Dofi's working and all stuff. So everyone is just gearing up for this next set, which is gonna be, I think, game breaking with the addition of Red Rock, all the new yellow support we're getting, the new color combinations with blue and yellow. So it's gonna be really cool. Oh yeah, purple and yellow as well. So everything is looking pretty good, and the reemergence of Croc, because that deck is looking menacing. But that's pretty much it for today. In our 5th place at locals with Yamato. Thank you guys for watching. Please, if you're loving our content and you're liking what you're seeing and you like what you're hearing, or you don't like what you're hearing and you want us to try some other things, definitely leave a like in the comment or a dislike in the comment explaining what we can do better. Peace. This is What Killed, and signing out from the 3 captains. Bye.